Welcome back to If Object Show Contestants Were Charged for Their Crimes, Episode 3, which is also the 13th episode overall of the Object Show Crimes series. But before we do start this one, make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you haven't already, as it would be much appreciated. Round 1. Teardrop. If post-split BFB is counted as a separate season from pre-split, that means Teardrop would be the only contestant to compete in every single season, which is kinda wild to think about. Her first crime is in the very first episode of the show, when she kicks Woody into the stratosphere after he tries to flirt with her. A cut and dry assault case. Next is in All the Way Until BFDI 4, where she eats nickel as a side effect of gelatin's anti-poison, is that whoever is injected eats a contestant. Unless you're in Idaho, which isn't the state I'm using for these crimes, cannibalism isn't on the books as being illegal in any state, surprisingly enough, but it is still third-degree murder, which grants Teardrop her first life sentence. Since she gets eliminated in BFDIA 4, we have to time skip again to BFB 1. In this one, she chomps down on Ice Cube's legs, which doesn't count since it was involuntary, but Clock shames her for her involuntary reaction, so she smacks both him and Lai. During the challenge later in the episode, she smacks Taco in response to her saying that Teardrop keeps quiet, as if it's a choice and not because Teardrop is mute. The next crime comes after another time skip, all the way to BFB 17 this time. In this one, she assists her team in bringing X back to 4, which could be counted as kidnapping since X is being brought back against their will. If they wanted to go back to 4, they would have gone themselves, though to be fair, they were at least glad to be reunited. Then in BFB 18, Teardrop throws a rock onto X's head alongside Leafy and Ruby, which could be another assault charge. Additionally, she flings both Woody and Lollipop off of Spongy's bracelet that had been cut up to use as a bridge. There's no way either of them ended up not getting hurt from that. In BFB 20, Teardrop worked with her team to force Fiery into the sun after he called the half-cots the half-crybabies, which would be assisting in murder. Doing this also made both X and Flower catch on fire from how much hotter the sun got, which I think will count as 2 more charges of assault. In BFB 21, Gelatin has Teardrop go over and pop Bubble, since Jelly thinks that she hates Teardrop. A classic miscommunication, truly. In BFB 23, Teardrop cuts open Gelatin's sweater ball, while the team is stuck inside of Purple Face, which causes him to be disintegrated and killed. This was so he could escape and so they could win, but it's still another third-degree murder. Next episode, Teardrop throws Gelatin into the bush that the Have-Nots Cake It Stick had been held inside of, to reveal them to 4. During BFB 28, TD shoved Flower off of the stairs, which resulted in her dying and having to start all the way over again. Towards the end, she also tugs on one of Flower's petals, which clearly hurt her judging by her reaction. After she gets eliminated in the next episode, she decides to try her luck in Teapot instead. The very first crime she commits in this season is to kill a racer to get back at him for destroying her stack. She also engages in a fight scene with Death Pact again when they try to do the same along with taking her blocks, killing Fanny, then Lightning, and uses her finger laser from her post-split voting icon to incapacitate and recover the gun from Marker to kill him as well. Tennis Ball and Pen also get caught in the crossfire. Teardrop is among the contestants at the end of Teapot 6 who attempt to steal a meal bag from 4 and X, so that can be theft worth under 1,000 or petite larceny. At the start of Teapot 7, Teardrop becomes a rain cloud and storms on Pen, Eraser, and Robot Flower, which causes them, particularly Robot Flower, a great deal of harm. In Teapot 8, she shoves Eraser off of the balance beam in a major betrayal after he helps her up. Finally, in Teapot 9, they slap each other very rapidly in the same way that Fiery and Coiny would have. Teardrop is the second ever contestant to experience auto-elimination, but that's not the only consequence she will face, as her total sentence would be 9 life sentences,
34
years in prison, and a fine of
$50,000.
Round 2. Pillow. Pillow, our favorite pseudoscientist. What crimes have you gotten up to? Surprisingly, her first crime isn't until all the way in Teapot 2. I would have thought there would have been something before that at least. When Death Pact again isn't looking, Pillow throws stuff into battery acid as part of an experiment. This includes price tag and a recommended character, which means we are starting off strong with her. In Teapot 4, Pillow grabs Book and Cake when the roller coaster car with Yellowface in it is coming, but she doesn't grab Nickel and lets him get hit by the car. This would be a charge of reckless endangerment as opposed to criminal negligence, as he did not die. At the start of Teapot 5, not only did Pillow explode Bommy, which killed him, the blast also killed a Fawny plant, which is known to be a critically endangered species. During Cake at Stake in the same episode, she throws some of the safe contestants over the side of the hotel to help clear out room. I know you meant well, but you're still endangering all of them. During the challenge, Puffball holds Nickel hostage and Pillow uses Bommy to get them, but accidentally hits Nickel instead. This is simultaneously a third-degree murder, an attempted murder, and reckless endangerment all at once. To take out the dragon and Fries, she throws Cake and Price Tag respectively at them, and they both die, as does Fries. Since it's an imagination sequence not actually happening, the bit at the start of Teapot 6 where Pillow explodes Bommy to kill the dragon does not count. However, when she throws Cake at a real dragon again later in the episode, that does. Like Teardrop, Pillow was among the contestants who attempted to relieve 4 and X of the meal bags intended for the hotel guests at the end of Teapot 6. Pillow using Zappies at the start of Teapot 7 does not count, as it is in an imagination sequence. Later in the episode, however, she assists Fanny in killing Tree by using Black Hole's suction abilities against him, possibly one of the most brutal deaths in the series, especially with the way his limbs fall off one by one a bit later. We see some more very brutal deaths at the hands of Pillow throughout the episode, as she kills Nickel, Book, and Price Tag. Luckily, Bommy stops her by exploding himself before she can ignite him, taking her out in the process. Even though all of Pillow's crimes were in Teapot, she did still end up doing quite a lot of them. Anyways, her total sentence comes out to 12 life sentences, 20.5 years in prison, and a fine of 100. Wow, putting this series on hiatus for a bit was a good call because this was the most motivated I've felt to work on it in a while. Anyways, thank you all for watching.